So I've talked about losing friends when you run your own business and how it can be really hard for people who don't run a business who aren't self-employed to understand what you're going through, and it makes it sometimes quite hard to maintain friendships when you just seem to be operating in different spaces. So I've talked about that, but one thing I want to talk about, the flip side of that, is making friends when you're in business, because there are so many people out there who have similar experiences, interests, backgrounds to you, that you'd be hard pressed not to find an incredible new set of friends who can share your journey with you. But if, like me, you are somebody who maybe has grown up with relationships around you where you're the either caregiver, or you're the group problem solver, or you're that kid in class on the group project, you're the one that did all the work whilst everyone else just chilled. Yeah, that's me, and I know that's a lot of you too. You might find it actually really quite confronting to go and make friends. I joke about myself that I actively avoid making new friends. Like, I'm full, my books are closed, I don't want any more new friends because I can't maintain the ones I've got. Now that's an interesting thing to think about, because as I spoke about on a previous video, friendships should bring you joy. And if they're not doing that, and there's not a kind of equal sharing of responsibility for maintaining the relationship, then it's not really a good friendship. I've actually got friends of mine now who also run businesses who basically had to force me to be friends with them. One of my friends just kept on inviting me to stuff until eventually she said, right, I'm taking you out for brunch because we're going to be friends now. And I just kind of had to go, yeah, okay, I really respect that hard sell, let's go. And we're great friends now, and my life would be much less rich without her in it. But because of my, not mistrust, but my not wanting to take on friendships where I bear the burden of the responsibility for maintaining it, and because of that history of being the kid in the class who did all the work on the group project, it's really easy sometimes to see a friendship as an inconvenience, because that's been the experience coming up to this point. You've lost friends now, right? We've talked about that. You were that kid. Maybe in your family, you're the person that fixes everything. You're the person that everybody goes to when they want a solution. If someone wants something done, they will come to me. They'll be like, Lucy, I've got this problem. And I leap into it because I love solving problems, but it is draining. It takes a toll on you and your mental health and your energy levels. So if you're approaching the idea of new friendships with this concept that I don't want any more friends, like I haven't got time for more friends, I can't be dealing with the drama, that means that you are responding from the past. And we tend to respond from our pasts in all things. We have an emotional reaction to something, and we might not necessarily be responding to what is true in that moment, but we're responding to an experience of the past that's made us feel similar, and we respond to it with that energy. So we tend to respond from the past to things rather than from the present. And that's what I was doing when people were reaching out to me and being very lovely and wanting to be my friend. And I was kind of batting them away like, no time for that, don't want to deal. And it meant probably I missed out on some really lovely friendships. But I'm learning, and I'm letting people in, and I'm making friends. And in those friendships, when you find friendships, especially when you run a business, because as I've spoken about before, it can be really lonely. When you find those friendships that are on an equal footing, where you've got somebody who's delighted that you're succeeding, who will cheer for you and mention your name in a room that you're not in, those friendships bring so much joy and so much inspiration and vitality to your life that it would be such a shame not to have them. So if you are like me and you've been a little bit reticent to make new friends because you're worried about how much time you have for it really, know that when you find the right friends and you find the right network, tribe, whatever you want to call it, when you find those people, they will bring you such joy and energy, and your life will be so enhanced for having them in it that you will never look back. So step out of that fear that you've placed on it yourself, be a little bit bolder, and go make some friends, and you'll find actually those people will share your joy and your journey with you, and they will be a huge asset to you both personally and professionally.